The word race or race car. What comes to your mind when you hear that?
Herbie Fully Loaded, Talladega, Talladega Nights, Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I guess I kind of think of NASCAR racing, definitely Talladega racetrack. I think of like drag racing, and like late night high speed drag racing. I think of that for some reason, like without the mufflers.
Yeah.
That kind of idea.
Like Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
popping
like,
in mind.
Like kind of trouble, up to trouble. Trouble.
Why would you think that you associate trouble with racing?
I think I associate trouble with racing because there's an element of danger there with going at such high speeds, that it seems kind of like pushing that boundary of safety further and further. Even though probably within the confines of like actual racing, it's probably safe and structured, but in my mind it's dangerous.
Very well. But yeah, it is. I don't know. Trouble. I don't know. I kind of, yeah.
Or what do you
It's
think?
intimidating.
Intimidating?
Yeah, I don't know. It is so fast. I don't know.
Do you think it intrigues you, like the mystery of the fastness and engineering marvels that humans have been able to create? These machines that can go insane speeds?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting.
No, I do too. I think it's really intriguing that a person can be inside of something that's going that fast and yet still be able to control it. It just makes me really anxious and nervous though, because one misstep and it's all of a sudden, the actual physics of it catches up and can really be scary,
Yeah. Wait, are there lots of accidents?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fair amount. Definitely some are a lot worse than others, and hopefully they try to prevent and make the cars as safe as they can possibly be, but you can never prevent death as the end result for some of them. But they've gotten a lot safer as time goes on.
How often do cars like change, or like how like within like the race world, like are there always kind of new and faster cars like every year, or like how, like what's the time frame with that?
It just depends on which series, and a lot of times, like NASCAR came out with their Gen 6 series in 2013, and so it's every like couple of years once technology is caught up and they've been able to design, and a lot of times it's new elements within like more aerodynamic cars or better quality in some of the materials. And same with IndyCar, they did a whole overhaul with their new cars and chassis, and just to make it safer, they also make the wings, and in the back they covered the wheels, so if there were collisions, less cars would go airborne because they were having a problem with that. And so if they see certain problems that are causing more wrecks, they'll work on it for the next coming years and then implement it.
Interesting.
So both of y'all brought up Talladega when y'all just were thinking of racing. Why is that so prominent in y'all's minds in the racing world?
Well, the movie. Just very comical, and so I felt like I just kind of knew a lot more about race car driving ever just watching that. And then I also pass it. It's like the halfway mark from here to Atlanta, and so I'm like, I'm an hour and 30 minutes away from Atlanta, or I'm an hour and 30 minutes to Tuscaloosa, and it's beautiful scenery with the flags. It's great.
I agree. I think it's just because I'm from Birmingham and the geography of where I'm from is so close to Talladega, and it brings in such a crowd from the southeast. Everybody knows if it's a Dega weekend, traffic.
Is that what they call it, Dega?
I mean, yeah, Dega, and but also I'm really close to the Barber Motorsports Park or Center. I've never actually been there, but a lot of people, I think there's like a museum or something like that, and a lot of people go to that from where I'm from. So there's definitely an interest there. And then in the fourth grade, I was in the Alabama history play, and my role was to be like we all were different people in history, Alabama's history, and I was what are they called? A grease monkey for like, I had to pretend, I had to be like one of the first like car, they called them grease monkeys. It was like the most embarrassing thing. I had to dress up like I was like fixing up a race car. That's all about I remember about it. But it had to do with I had to explain about the Barber Motorsports Park, whatever.
That's so funny.
It was pretty embarrassing.
And so, would y'all ever think about maybe going to a race or
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
getting
I
a group of
definitely would.
friends together?
In high school we had a weekend planned to go to Talladega just for fun and experience it, but then it got canceled that weekend for weather. So, but we almost did. We should go.
We should
We
go.
should go.
Do y'all consider racing to be a sport? You know, it like competes with. There's so many sports out there with like professional sports for NFL, NBA. You know, and I feel like sometimes racing can get overshadowed. Not necessarily, especially in the South, racing strong with NASCAR. But do you think that they're thought as highly as being athletes?
Well, I guess they're not thought of as highly just because I guess the physicality, I guess, of being active and sweating, I guess, but we just don't really like see that inside the car. And we don't see them like huffing and puffing. All we just do is just see who wins, and that's really about it. And there are no like half times, or I don't know, are there half times?
No.
Yeah, I feel like to the person that doesn't know the inner workings of like the car and the mechanics and like the teams, if you don't know any of that, all you're looking at is cars like going around a track, and you're just kind of like, what's the point here?
Yeah.
So I think you have to have kind of like a involved understanding to kind of recognize the athletic prowess of the sport. But in general, I don't think it gets as much attention as football or baseball. Like I don't think that, yeah, especially in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Even though in the South there are a lot of avid supporters. So.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a quick little activity to do today, and I picked out a couple of the race car drivers, and they are going to pick out who they would like to go on a date with, or who they think is most attractive. So out of the lot, we have Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, Marco Andretti, Dario Franchitti, James Hinchcliffe, and Joseph Newgarden. So the girls are picking out which ones would be.
Grab it.
James Hinchcliffe?
Hinchcliffe.
Hinchcliffe. Yeah, he's super cute. Can I say that?
Okay.
Casey Kane, too.
It's Kane. No.
Lucky winners.
Are they single?